You are locked in and locked on to the Good Pod Guide with Lauren Windle, where I bring you the best podcasts out there. Did I start that sounding a bit like a garage MC? Hold tight. So I feel like the podcasts we review on the Good Pod Guide, for me, can be loosely grouped into three categories. There's some, and not many, that I'm like, this is like just so not worth my time. Then there's the bulk, which I'm like, this is really interesting. If I've got a bit more time, I'll listen to a bit more. You know, if this is your topic, your niche thing, then you'll absolutely love it. It's great. And then there's another small handful at the other end that I'm like, this is so good. My life is better having found this. And that's how I feel about today's podcast. It's called The Truth, and it's short storytelling. And short storytelling is hard. I am part of a writers club called Write Club. I'm not going to tell you what the first rule of Write Club is, but we go away and do tasks and then showcase what we've written and get critique. And sometimes that critique can be pretty harsh. So thanks for that, George. But on the whole, it pushes your work forwards. And we do loads of flash fiction and short story writing and that kind of stuff. And writing short stories is so tough to land well. It is honestly. And I think that having tried it, often not massively successfully, I just have this appreciation for people who do it well. So this is The Truth. It is a great concept. It's a podcast that brings you short stories, but they're acted. So it's like you're listening to a mini movie, and they recommend that you listen with headphones, which I thought was possibly a little bit weird. I guess they just want you to really immerse yourself in it. They also suggest like turning the lights down. So I think that you're supposed to sort of transport yourself to where the story is being taken. It was rubbish, sorry. The Truth is a really great concept. It's a podcast that brings you short stories, but they're acted. So it's like you're listening to a mini movie. They recommend in the preamble that you put on earphones and turn the lights down, which I thought was a bit weird, but I definitely did do because I'm, compliant, I guess. But I guess that they just want you to really immerse yourself in the story and in the storytelling. Episodes are released every fortnight. It's created by Jonathan Mitchell, but each episode has actual actors and the cast changes from episode to episode. So I usually start by Googling what the best episodes are to listen to when I start on a new podcast. But this time I didn't have to, which I absolutely love, because in the podcast description, it tells you where to start. They suggest that you listen to Silver's Blood, That's Democracy, Moon Graffiti, Tape Delay, or whatever's most recent. So I decided I was going to listen to That's Democracy. And it is insane. It's so good. It's a 12-minute story about a teacher who's jaded and on the brink, and he decides to allow the students to vote to decide who will die. And if they don't vote, everyone dies. It's super short. I'm not going to tell you how it ends, but honestly, it was masterful storytelling. In fact, the host of the Podcast Digest, who himself says he listens to 6 to 8 hours of podcasts every single day, said he thought That's Democracy was the best podcast he'd ever listened to. Surely that's got to count for something. It's so popular, in fact, that there's then a later episode, which is like a making of episode where they talk you through how they made That's Democracy. As a writer, I feel like this medium of storytelling is the future. This is how storytelling progresses. People are listening to audiobooks and these sort of audio dramatizations so much more. It is the future. It's progressive. It's interesting. And honestly, some of these stories are mind-blowing. I'm going to go back and listen to like them all. There's 150 or so in total, and they're all less than half an hour, give or take. The Truth was named by iTunes the best new arts podcast of 2012 and the number one new podcast of 2012 by Daily Dawn. That was the year it was released. I can honestly see why. It is pure genius. There's a risk that it would just be a great concept with pure execution, but the strength of the writing means that it is exceptionally well done. Listen to it. Start with the episodes they suggest. You won't be disappointed. In the next episode, I once again confirmed that I am nowhere near as good at classic cinema as I should be when we review the Cine Files. We've put all you need to know about the Good Pod Guide on our website, and that is www.goodpodguide.com. Go and check that out, or you can follow us at Good Pod Guide on Instagram and Twitter.